How are we doing? Good. Oh, come on. You can do better than that. How are we doing?
Come on, make some noise.
This thing is on. All right, yeah. Now it's on. All right. So, show of hands here. Who currently works with influencers in their business? All right, so we're speaking to the right room. All right, I'll kick it off. So I'm Chris Detert. I'm the Chief Communications Officer at Influential, the world's largest influencer marketing company, and objectively speaking, the best. I'm going to read a little introduction to this man because it's very impressive. So he is a Forbes top creator with over 40 million collective followers, and in 2022, he earned over 11.5 billion with a B collective views across his social media platforms and is on track to double that in 2023. He is the fastest growing comedy star on YouTube, gaining 10 million subscribers in only 11 months. Give it up for Adam Waheed. All right, so you guys can get a frame of reference. Many of you may know him, but if you don't, we're going to run a couple videos that are going to show you some of the work that he's done with the NFL.
Wait, you mean my parents? My mom. The NFL's on Saturday. Seriously? Who's ready? The NFL's on Saturday. Really? I don't know what's wrong with my phone.
Did you try turning it on?
She's okay, don't worry.
That's amazing.
The NFL on Saturday.
All right, we got one more for you.
The NFL's on Saturday. Yes, sir.
Whoa, what happened here? Oh, it's National Finance Day.
All right, pretty good, huh? Oh, yeah, so let's talk about your background and how football has influenced your content creation as a social creator, and what role do you see sports playing in the social media landscape?
Yeah, so I actually, before I started creating videos, I used to play at SMU. I was playing football. I was much bigger. I lost a lot of weight. But yeah, I think like so much translates over from like sports, and especially playing football. You know, one of the things we used to say in college was, you know, having this next play mentality. And, you know, I applied that to, you know, creating content. You know, every video is not going to be your best video. And whether it's good or not, you know, you got to move on to the next video, or so to say the next play. So, I mean, that's just one of the things. I think just also like discipline. We were like one of the few teams to like practice at 6 a.m. So like literally I'd have to wake up at 5 a.m., go to practice, you know, class, meetings, etc. So now I just wake up at 6 a.m. and film YouTube videos. But it's the same discipline, you know, and I think, you know, being a creator online, like the most important thing is consistency and being able to continue to put out high quality content over the years.
So what inspired you to like start content creation, and like what was the big moment that like you feel like you arrived?
So after I had graduated college and I found out that I wasn't good enough to go to the NFL, I was like, what the hell am I going to do with my life? And I knew I didn't want to get like an office job or anything like that. And I ended up deciding I wanted to be an actor. So I moved to LA, and I was working as an assistant. And for a year and a half, I didn't get like one audition, couldn't get a manager, couldn't get an agent. I wanted to be an actor. I've never even acted before. And I'm just trying to figure it out. You know, everyone in that city is trying to be an actor. And I saw people making content online on YouTube. And I was like, well, you know, let me try making a video, and maybe a director or somebody will see it and they'll put me in a movie. So it took me like maybe like 4 months to just make a 30-second video, just because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like Googling like, how do you shoot? How do you edit? How do you act? And I finally put this video out, and I had about 300 followers, and I posted it, and it got 90 views. I was like, that's it. That's it. Like, I'm done. I'm moving back home with my mom, and I'm going to just try to figure something else out. So I had decided that at the beginning of the month, and I had to wait to get my paycheck to get my flight back to New York. So I was like, all right, while I'm here, I might as well film a few more videos. So I do the same thing, 80 views, 70 views. But the fourth video that I posted in the morning, and at nighttime it had 1,000 views. So I mean, I had like 300 followers. It was more than my following. It was pretty cool, but I didn't think anything of it. I went to bed. I woke up in the morning and had 400,000 views. And I was like, what the hell happened last night? And I found out so random, the rapper Ludacris shared my video. I don't even know how he saw it. Yeah, he shared my video. So I remember I called my boss and I was like, hey, I quit. And he's like, you're quitting because you had a viral video? And I'm like, yeah, I'm famous. And I started making videos every single day. The next video I made only got 800 views, so I got humbled really quickly. But I knew that I had something, and I knew I was like, okay, I'm gonna make videos every single day. And within like 5 months, I got to about 500,000 followers. And then there was a point also where I was like at 500,000 followers, I was making no money. And I'm like, how the hell is everyone making money off of this? Because I have to pay rent. And I figured out how to work with brands and monetize my content and really turn it into like a full-fledged business. I was able to sign with CAA, get an amazing manager, and I've been doing it ever since.
So I should have started with this, but we'll go back to it. So why are you out here?
I'm here with the NFL, with Influential. Basically, we've partnered up to make content around the draft and put it on YouTube. And specifically, I don't know if you guys know, but the NFL Sunday Ticket's now on YouTube exclusively. I've said that line so many times already while I've been out here. But yeah, so it's been a really cool partnership, and it's really awesome to see like this massive shift, like this seismic shift from like, you know, we've seen it on DirecTV, but now it's on YouTube. And really just letting my audience know and just everyone on the platform that, you know, that's the home of NFL Sunday Ticket.
Also worth mentioning, it's a seismic shift in the industry. I mean, to think for the last 20, 25 years, we've seen DirecTV having NFL Sunday Ticket. And the mere fact that YouTube has now taken that is super impressive. So we're really excited to be a part of it and honored to have Adam out here with us. So let's talk about...
I hope people still watch my videos, though. Yeah. Now it's like, now I'm competing with NFL Sunday Ticket. Damn it.
Well, we're going to keep you in these campaigns. So let's talk about your work with the NFL. What are some of the most memorable campaigns you've done with the NFL? What are some of the highlight moments for you?
Honestly, those two were great. We've done a bunch. I didn't really tackle that grandma. She was great. The other one, too, in the grocery store was cool. It was for National Tight Ends Day. That was like a mess. There was like raw chicken on the ground. Like, it was a mess. But it's always fun working with the NFL, and I think it's also great when you get to work with a brand that you're a fan of. You know, I love the NFL. I love football, obviously. I've been playing my whole life. So it's really cool to work with a brand that you love because it almost doesn't even feel like, you know, that I'm working. So it's been awesome, just the journey. Just been working there for like, I think 4 or 5 years now. And it's been amazing.
So let's talk about like your work-life balance. Like what do you do? Like give us like the typical day in the life of Adam W.
Well, you guys know I wake up at 6 a.m. because I said that earlier. But really, I'll come up with an idea. I'll get all the props together. I have a team of about 8 people that work for me to just create content. So a lot of it is like shooting, editing, coming up with creative, and putting out content. Last year I posted every single day, 365, which was crazy. But this year I've shifted over to one every other day, so it's not as hectic. But in terms of personal life, no, I don't have one.
So as a content creator, like what keeps you like up with trends? What gives you like the insight to be like, I'm gonna do this video and it's gonna hit?
I use ChatGPT. No, I'm just kidding. I think I'm on it so much that it's like impossible not to know the trends. But you know, I don't do every single trend, and I don't do every single, you know, anything that's in pop culture. I think you actually limit yourself if you do that. If a trend is like viral across platforms, I will do something on it. But typically I like to just do relatable content just because it reaches such a wide audience. Because a lot of times someone might not know about a trend. But like I said, if something's like so massive, I'll do something on it. But I usually typically like to just do content that's relatable so then I can really hit like any age demo. I mean, I have tons of like young fans, older fans, international fans. A lot of the content that I do is also very visual. So one of the rules I have is if you can't laugh at the video on mute, then I won't post it. And that's because a lot of people don't speak English. So I have a lot of fans that also don't even speak English, just because when you do something visual, you reach a much wider audience as well. I'm kidding you guys with like all these stats, as well as like, you know, there's a lot of people who are at work watching these videos or at school and they're watching my videos instead of doing their job. And they can't use the audio, right? So it's important to stay visual. That's a big thing, to ensure that you get a lot of views.
What advice would you give to people who want to be content creators?
I would say the biggest advice is just to start. You know, I was in my head a while before I actually started, and I was like, you know, I need like this camera, or I need to film with this person, or I need to get this location. And you know, the simple fact is that there's never a perfect time. The perfect time is now. You just start and you just jump in the fire and you figure it out along the way, and you know, that's what makes you a better creator.
So let's talk about your process. How do you go from like 6 in the morning to at 12:30 you tell me you drop a video every day? Run us through that process.
It's pretty toxic. The thing is, I know that when my back's against the wall, I'm gonna come up with the best idea. You know, when you write ideas and anything with creative, you can't just say, hey, on Wednesdays I'm gonna sit down for 2 hours and come up with all my ideas, because it just doesn't work like that. You know, sometimes you get writer's block. Most of the time I get writer's block. But I have a schedule, so like I post at 12:30 no matter what. So with that, you know, having that in my schedule, I'm like, crap, no matter what, I have to get a video done. So I'll just force myself to come up with an idea. So yeah, it gets pretty hectic in the morning. I wake up at 6. I'll probably get my idea by like 7:30 in the morning. I'll go get all the props. I'll get the location. I'll get whatever actors or other influencers I want in the video. We'll shoot it, and then I'll like rush it to my editor. I'll be over his shoulder, like forcing him to hurry up. And then I put it out, and then same thing the next day.
So we're sitting here in a room full of marketers. What advice would you give to marketers who are trying to lean in on working with creators?
I think the biggest thing is that just knowing it's not a one-way street. I mean, it's a collaborative process. So, you know, I still have to be true to my audience, right? And I think at the end of the day, nobody likes a commercial, right? Unless it's funny and, you know, it's organic to my audience. So when I work with brands, I just want to make it clear that, you know, I'm going to, of course, you know, implement their brand and make it organic to their audience, but it also has to be organic to my audience. And, you know, that is a bridge, and that is something that you have to go back and forth with, which is fine, you know, until you get to that common ground. But, you know, a lot of my brand deals, you know, perform, every brand deal I do performs over 1 million views organically before they boost. And the reason is because I'll go out of my way to really up the production value and really make sure that it's super organic, but at the same time, you know, delivering the brand's message. And a lot of feedback I get on posts, like if I do something for Old Spice, people are like, wow, this is hilarious, Old Spice should pay this guy. And I'm like, they are paying me. But, you know, it's because of that organic touch, right? So just knowing that it's a two-way street, and, you know, really having that funnel of communication to be able to say, okay, maybe I can't say the brand and show it, you know, 70 times in the first 5 seconds, but I'll show it throughout the video, and it'll clearly be there, and you'll clearly know it's a brand deal. So, yeah.
So an interesting and fun fact about you is you have some familial ties to the NFL. Tell everybody about that, and you know how that has kind of dovetailed into this world of you know, creating content for the NFL now.
Yeah, it's kind of full circle. Well, my brother-in-law is Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. So, yeah, there we go. Yeah. So, you know, I've been around football my whole life, you know, as well as playing it. And then now, you know, I always wanted to be in the NFL, but now I get to work with the NFL. So I guess, you know, my dream still came true. So it's been really cool. It's been a really full circle moment. And like I said, it's awesome when you get to work with a brand that you actually love.
So are your nieces and nephews good football players?
No, they're horrible. But I still love them, but, you know, they're like 5 and 7.
They got your genes?
Yeah, they must have got my genes. Maybe they'll become influencers. You know, what's crazy is like now they want to be YouTubers. They want to be YouTubers.
Well, I think you had a little bit of a hand in that.
Yeah.
So obviously you're on top of the world. You're doing great things. But I know the personality you are. You always want more. What's the future for Adam W?
The biggest goal I have right now is to get 1 trillion views. I want to get 1 trillion views. I know that sounds crazy.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Oh, not yet. I want to be the first person to get 1 trillion views. I'm at 25 billion views lifetime right now. But when I was around like 10 million views lifetime, and I was telling people I want to get 1 billion views, they're like, you're crazy. So now it's 1 trillion views. And, you know, aside from that, you know, I definitely do want to dive into making more long-form content, making movies, more of like an Adam Sandler trajectory. But at the same time, I don't ever want to stop making content on socials just because like the viewership and the fan base and the audience is unprecedented. Like the amount of viewership you could do on socials is uncomparable to any movie. So I like to do both parallel.
So the year is 2050. Are we seeing Adam W. content on social, on whatever platform exists at that point?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like this old man on TikTok. No, I don't know. I mean, I hope not, but maybe. I guess you know, never say never. But I think at a certain point I'd get to creating longer form content. And right now the place might be for streamers, but who knows? In 10 years from now, if long form content will be on YouTube, right? I mean, you already have stuff like NFL Sunday Ticket happening on there. So, there's this big pressure of like, oh, you have all these followers, why don't you move them over to traditional and get, a Netflix deal or et cetera. And my whole thing is like, why would I have to move them? I'd rather just post, why can't I just put my movie out on YouTube and figure out the ROI and figure out how to make that profitable? Because my audience is already there. I don't want to move my audience. I can, of course, but I would prefer to just put out my content on YouTube.
So I got a fun one for you. What do you do about negative comments and the haters?
I used to take it personal. If somebody like commented on one of my videos, that's not funny, I'd be like, then unfollow me. And then they'd write back, oh my God, I'm a huge fan, I can't believe you responded. So like a lot of times, people are just looking for a reaction. It was different when my mom got on there, because my mom's like fighting with fans, like, my son's funny. And I'm like, if they find out you're my mom, it's over for both of us. I had to deactivate her account. But like I said, a lot of times they're just looking for a reaction. So, and it's unfortunate, right? Because you get thousands of positive comments, but then like the one or two negative ones stick with you, right? So my biggest advice is like, don't take any of those comments personal, and don't let anyone know who your mom is, because they'll find you.
So what's one interesting thing about you that this crowd wouldn't know?
I wake up at 6 a.m. every day. No.
Said that.
I love golf. I'm actually a big golfer. So one of the things I do is like, I'll take off like 4 hours every Sunday where I just won't touch my phone, and I'll just play like 2 balls by myself and golf. And then I might check a little bit on my Instagram or YouTube, but I try to stay off of it. But I love golf.
So you do have a life.
Yeah. On Sundays, 4 hours.
All right, well, I see from the clock that we're just about out of time, but I'd love to open it up to the audience if any of you guys have any questions. Over here.
So, in an ideal world, right, I think what you're doing is awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
When you think about what you're doing, there's obviously, you guys convince certain people of the value of what you're bringing to the table, right? I think when you get to the corporate world, there's a big generational divide of like people who, first of all, don't even know what social channels are, YouTube, so like education on what that is to begin with before you can talk about certain personalities. Any recommendations you have there in that space to try to kind of break through that kind of corporate mode and kind of get people to see that value of that?
From like an influencer perspective, you're talking about? Well, I mean, working with like influential is great because they're like an amazing funnel to be able to say like, inform. You never want to talk about yourself. Like it's tough to like pitch myself. Of course, I have like a manager and agent, but it's much easier when you work with someone like influential, where they're like such a proper funnel to inform the brands of like, hey, this is what platforms are hot right now. These are what creators are hot right now. This is the type of content they make. This is how they mesh with their brand. So they do a lot of the groundwork before I even get the conversation with the brand, right? So like right when I get there, the brand already knows everything about me. They know what kind of content I do. It aligns with what their campaign is or what their brand is. So that it makes it much easier. It gets a little difficult when you're going like directly to a brand as an influencer, like an individual, because then you have to go through all that like holding the person's hand, walking them through what you do. But influencer does a great job of being that funnel.
I will pay you later.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I know the owner of the Chiefs went to SMU, and you could work with Mr. Beast or him. Have you talked to him about doing something?
I haven't had a chance to meet him yet. Oh wait, are you talking about with Mr. Beast?
Or Clark Hunt?
Oh yeah. We were actually talking to Gracie Hunt yesterday.
Yeah, we hung out with Gracie. Actually, we're gonna bring Gracie to LA, and we're gonna bring a bunch of the influencers, some of the biggest ones that are our friends, and start doing some collab videos with her. So.
Yeah, it would be epic to film with both. I think as every few weeks that goes on, like people are more in tune with what's going on socials and really diving into that world. So I mean, like even from what it was last year to now, like there's so many more people that know about social stars and social media. So I mean, even in 2 years from now, I'm curious to see where it's going to be at.
All right, time for one more question. Anybody else? In the front.
I have a question. So, for brands, what do you want us to consider as we prioritize or think about like measurement? I know often it's just like clicks and things of that sort. So I would love for you to, if you could tell a brand like what is important to you in terms of measurement, what are those things?
I think the follower number is not as important anymore. I mean, like, it's almost like I always say this, like, if somebody has like 20 million followers and they're not even breaking like 100,000 views, it's like having a Ferrari that doesn't work. It's pointless. I think the biggest measurement is like your viewership and also your retention, right? Like how many people are actually viewing in and how long are they sticking around for, right? Which is also why a lot of brands want to, for you to say their product or mention them in the first 5 seconds, because they know that some people's retention aren't the highest, right? So for me, like something I always look at is engagement, like in terms of viewership and audience retention. I think those are the two most important things because, if you have 5 million followers and these are a very active group of people, it's obviously much more valuable than, having 20 million. But it's tough for a brand as well because, a brand's not diving into the analytics and they don't know as much as I would know, right? Because this is my world, this is what I do all day, right? So in order for them to really make sure they're getting their value and make sure they're getting their money, right, spent well is not just to get fooled by that follower number, but to really do a deep dive in analytics and to bring back up influential again. They do a great job of vetting anybody they work with to say, hey, yeah, this person might have a large following, but look at the engagement, look at the retention. Or, hey, this person doesn't have the biggest following, but their numbers are much stronger than a 20, 30 million account, right?
So quality over quantity.
Yeah, absolutely,
Awesome.
yeah.
Do you need a job?
Yes. Oh, you can just Venmo me. No.
Fair enough. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. It's lunchtime. We're going to be over at the Step and Repeat, so come over, say hello, take some pictures. Thank you so much, Adam.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Adam.
Thank you guys.